You felt it long before you saw the signs. The air thickened around you, heavy with a tension you couldn't name but couldn't ignore. It wasn't just a gut feeling. It was a primal knowing, a signal pulsing through your veins, telling you something was shifting. The world didn't look different. Not yet, but you sensed it. An invisible tide turning, a silent storm gathering. You weren't imagining it. Science backs this up. Your nervous system is wired to detect threats before your conscious mind catches up. That unease, that electric hum in your chest, it's your body sounding the alarm. You're not crazy. You're awake. This is where it begins, the first crack in the shell of your old reality. You've always known you were different, haven't you? Not in some arrogant, self-aggrandizing way, but in the quiet moments when the world felt too small for what you carried inside. The tension in the air wasn't random. It was the friction of your soul brushing against a destiny you didn't choose but can't escape. A price has been placed on your head. $1 million some unseen force is willing to pay to erase you. That's how valuable you are. That's how dangerous you've become. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. The divine force walks ahead of you, shielding you, whispering warnings into your spirit. You're not alone in this fight. Let's get real, you've felt those whispers before. Maybe it was a sudden urge to turn left instead of right, avoiding a disaster you'd never see. Maybe it was a name popping into your head, a stranger who later revealed a truth you needed to hear. That's not coincidence. It's the divine force, your unseen ally, moving pieces you can't yet comprehend. Neuroscience calls it intuition, a rapid-fire synthesis of patterns your brain processes faster than thought. Spirituality calls it guidance, a thread of light woven into your being. Call it what you want, but you've felt it. It's been there all along, nudging you, protecting you, pulling you toward this moment of awakening. So how do you know this is real? How do you confirm you're one of the chosen? Start with this: watch yourself. Notice when the air feels charged, when your skin prickles for no reason, when a stranger's glance lingers too long. These aren't accidents, they're markers. Your soul is a radar, tuned to frequencies most can't hear. Test it. Next time you feel that shift, that inexplicable pull, act on it. Change your route. Speak the words that burn in your throat. Step into the unknown. You'll find the path clears or something blocks what could have harmed you. That's your proof. That's your power. The shift from tension to acceptance isn't soft or gentle. It's a battle. You've spent years doubting yourself, brushing off the signs, telling yourself it's all in your head. Stop that now. The unease you felt wasn't weakness. It was strength waking up. You're not here to fit in, you're here to stand out, to face what's coming. The divine force doesn't whisper to the timid. It speaks to warriors. And you've heard it, haven't you? That quiet voice cutting through the noise, warning you of danger, urging you forward when every instinct screamed to run. You didn't run. You're still here. That's no small thing. Here's your first step. Claim it. You don't need permission, and you don't need proof beyond what you've already felt. Say it to yourself, out loud if you have to. I am chosen. Feel the weight of it. Let it sink into your bones. This isn't about ego. It's about alignment. The moment you own it, the whispers get louder, the shields get stronger. You're not just reacting to the tension anymore, you're stepping into it, meeting it head-on. Science shows intention rewires your brain, sharpening your focus. Spirituality says it activates your purpose, linking you to the greater flow. Both are true. Both are yours. The world won't make this easy. Something's already moving against you. Unseen hands placing bets on your silence, your erasure. But they don't know what you're made of. They don't see the force walking ahead of you, deflecting their plans, turning their weapons to dust. You felt the shift from fear to fire, from confusion to clarity. That's not random. That's your awakening. You're not a bystander in this story, you're the center of it. The tension in the air? It's the sound of the universe holding its breath, waiting for you to rise. Take this seriously, you're not imagining the stakes. $1 million on your head means you're a threat to something big, something dark. But you're not defenseless. The divine force isn't passive. It's active, fierce. A shield that doesn't just block but strikes back. You've felt its presence in the moments you should have fallen but didn't, the times you walked away unscathed when the odds said otherwise. That's not luck. That's your birthright. Lean into it. Trust it. It's been with you since the beginning, waiting for you to notice. Now look back. Those inexplicable shifts, the missed calls that saved you from trouble, the delays that kept you safe, the dreams that jolted you awake, they weren't random. They were signals, breadcrumbs leading you here. You're not just waking up to danger. You're waking up to purpose. The tension isn't here to break you. It's here to forge you. Every time you've felt it, every time you've listened to that whisper, you've grown stronger. You're not a victim of this story. You're its champion. Here's your move. Start tracking the signs. Keep a record, mental or written, of when the air shifts, when the whispers come, when the shield holds. Patterns will emerge. You'll see how often you've been guided, how many times you've been spared. This isn't about paranoia. It's about power. The more you recognize your chosen traits, the more you control them. You're not waiting for destiny to find you. You're claiming it, step by step, breath by breath. The divine force is your ally, but you're the one who walks the path. Get moving. You're not imagining it. Something's moving against you. It's not loud or obvious. Not yet. It's a shadow slipping through the cracks of your day. A whisper in the air you can't quite catch. These forces aren't unknown to you. You've felt their weight before, brushing against your instincts, stirring that strange feeling in your gut that tells you to pause. They're unseen but familiar, like a predator circling just beyond the light. This isn't paranoia. It's your soul picking up the signal. Something's hunting you, studying your routines, learning your habits, tracking your movements. But here's the truth they don't see. You're not alone. You never were. Let's break it down. You're in a social circle, a workplace, a community, and suddenly the vibe shifts. Eyes linger too long, conversations cut short, smiles tighten into something forced. You feel it, that subtle push, the unspoken tension. These aren't random moments. They're orchestrated. Someone's watching, waiting for you to slip. Science says your brain's amygdala flags these threats before your logic kicks in. Your gut's not lying, it's decoding. Spiritually, it's your inner compass screaming, wake up, they're closing in. You're not crazy for noticing. You're chosen for it. So how do you stand firm when the ground feels like it's tilting? First, trust that pause in your gut. It's not fear, it's power waking up. That instinct telling you to stop, to look twice, to hold back. It's your shield activating. Don't ignore it. Lean into it. Next time you feel that knot, that electric hum, take a breath and scan your surroundings. Who's too quiet? Who's pushing too hard? You don't need proof to act, you need awareness to survive. This isn't about shrinking. It's about sharpening. You're not prey. You're a force. Here's where it flips. Divine justice doesn't just defend. It strikes. Picture this. The hunter's closing in, confident you're oblivious, mapping your every step. He doesn't see what you carry. That strange feeling you've been feeling? It's not weakness, it's a tripwire. The moment he gets too close, something shifts. Car cuts him off. Call distracts him. A door slams shut. He doesn't know why, but his plan unravels. That's not luck, that's the script flipping. The divine force isn't passive. It's a warrior in your corner, turning their moves against them. You don't have to fight alone. You just have to stand. Let's get practical. You're in a room full of people who don't get you. Maybe they never will. They question your choices, mock your instincts, dismiss your fire. How do you hold your chosen identity when the air's thick with doubt? Simple, you stop explaining. Your truth doesn't need their approval. Stand tall, speak clear, and let your energy do the rest. Science shows confidence rewires how others perceive you, mirror neurons fire, forcing them to feel your strength. Spiritually, your light burns brighter when you refuse to dim it. You're not here to convince them. You're here to outlast them. That gut feeling, it's your edge. It's not random unease. It's a signal turning into strength. Take it seriously. Next time it hits, don't brush it off as nerves. Ask yourself, what's triggering this? Where's the threat? Then act. Shift your plans, change your words, walk away if you have to. Each time you listen, you train it to grow louder, clearer. Studies show intuition strengthens with use like a muscle. Spiritually, it's your soul's voice breaking through the noise. This isn't about running, it's about rising. You're turning the hunter's game into your victory. Now, the big move, wield divine justice like a weapon. You don't need to know who's against you or why. Just know they're there. When the pressure mounts, when the shadows creep closer, claim your protection. Say it in your mind, fierce and unflinching. I'm untouchable. The divine force flips this now. Feel it ignite in your chest. Visualize their plans crumbling. Meetings canceled, lies exposed, steps blocked. It's not wishful thinking. It's intention with teeth. Quantum physics hints at energy shaping outcomes. Spirituality says it's your birthright. Both work. Both win. The ones moving against you, they're not strangers. They're the ones who smiled in your face, who nodded at your dreams, who clapped when you rose. Until you rose too high. That's the twist. The real threat hides in plain sight. Don't waste energy confronting them. They'll deny it anyway. Instead, outmaneuver them. Shift your patterns. Take a new route. Switch your schedule. Guard your next step. Let them chase a ghost while divine justice dismantles their board. You're not playing defense. You're rewriting the rules. This isn't abstract. Test it. Next time you're cornered. When the air feels heavy and the voices turn sharp. Pause. Feel that gut signal. Claim your shield. Watch what happens. A distraction pulls them away. A truth slips out. Path opens. That's the flip. Divine justice stepping in, not to coddle you, but to clear the way. You're not waiting for rescue, you're commanding the shift. The more you do this, the stronger it gets. You're not just surviving this, you're mastering it. Here's the fire in it all. You're not alone in the dark. Those forces unseen but not unknown? They're real, but so is your power. The hunter thinks you're a target, blind to the danger. He's wrong. You're awake, you're armed, and you're chosen. That strange feeling in your gut isn't a flinch. It's a roar. Every time you feel it, every time you act on it, you're stepping deeper into your mission. Divine justice doesn't just protect you, it turns their own traps against them. You're not breaking under pressure. You're breaking through. You've felt it. That creeping unease slithering into your chest. The air tightening every time something gets too close. It's not random. It's not your imagination playing tricks. Something is shifting, and it's not just the world around you. It's the frequency within you tuning to a signal most can't hear. This is the high-dimensional download crashing into your awareness. Raw and unfiltered. You're not losing your grip. You're gaining ground. That discomfort? It's the stretch of your soul expanding to hold what's coming. You're being prepared for something bigger. Something that demands you question, observe, and, worst of all, understand. Let's cut through the noise. This isn't about vague feelings or poetic fluff. When the shift hits, when that unease prickles your skin, it's a data stream from beyond the veil. Science might call it your brain syncing with quantum fields, picking up patterns your conscious mind hasn't mapped yet. Spirituality calls it your higher self slamming the door open, flooding you with intel from the unseen. Either way, it's real and it's yours. But here's the catch. Not every signal is pure. Some of it's static, your own projections, fears, or wishful thinking muddying the line. You've got to learn the difference, and you've got to do it fast. So how do you tell what's high-vibe truth from your own head games? Start here. True downloads hit hard and clear. They don't beg for your approval or linger in doubt. They land like a punch, sharp, undeniable, often inconvenient. You'll feel it in your gut first, a weight that doesn't shift with excuses. Self-projection, though, the softer, slippery, looping back to what you want to hear. Next time that unease creeps in, pause. Ask, does this feel like a warning I can't shake, or a story I'm spinning? Test it. If it's real, it'll hold up under pressure. Push it and it pushes back. If it's fake, it'll crumble when you stare it down. Here's where it gets gritty. The shift doesn't come clean. Something blocks the path every time. A call interrupts your plans. An unexpected delay throws you off. You're secretly hoping you'd stumble before you saw too much. Aren't you? That's the tension of awakening. Part of you wants the blindfold back, the safety of not knowing. But the divine force isn't letting you off that easy. Those blocks, they're not failures, they're filters. They're keeping you sharp, forcing you to sift through the chaos for the gold. You're not stalling. You're being forged. Feel that pull to give up? Fight it. That's the old you dying so the chosen you can rise. Let's talk practice, real steps, not fluffy promises. You're getting these downloads whether you like it or not, so get good at catching them. First, ground yourself when the unease hits. Plant your feet, breathe deep, let your body anchor the signal. Your nervous system's a receiver. Stress scrambles it, calm tunes it in. Second, write it down fast. Don't overthink. Just dump what you feel, see, hear. The rawer, the better. Third, cross-check it. Wait a day, then look back. Does it still burn? Does it match what's unfolding? If it fades or feels forced, it's noise. If it grows louder, it's truth. This isn't guesswork. It's discipline. Now, the emotional edge. You're straddling two worlds. One foot's in the mess of delays and disruptions, the other's brushing against something vast. Something they never expected you to wake up to. That unease isn't just fear. It's power simmering, itching to break free. You've caught glimpses, patterns in their deception, in their control, in the way they move behind the scenes. A missed meeting that spared you trouble. A name dropped that clicked a puzzle piece into place. You're not paranoid, you're perceptive. They wanted you to trip over those blocks, to stay small. But you didn't. You're still standing. Here's your weapon. Observation. You questioned, you watched, and now you're starting to understand. That's what scares them most. Not your strength, but your sight. When the shift comes, when the air thickens and the blocks pile up, don't flinch. Lean in. What's the delay telling you? Who's too quiet when it happens? What's the pattern you missed before? High-dimensional info doesn't spoon-feed you answers. It hands you clues. Your job is to connect them. Science says your brain's wired for this. Pattern recognition's how we survived. Spirituality says it's your soul's language. Both are right. Both are yours to wield. Take this deeper. The unease isn't your enemy. It's your ally. Every time it creeps in, it's a heads up. Something's close, something's moving. Divine justice doesn't just block the path. It flips the script. That call that stopped you? It wasn't random, it was a shield. That delay that pissed you off? Kept you out of the crosshairs. You're not stumbling. You're being guided. Feel that spark when you realize it? That's your frequency spiking, your connection locking in. They thought you'd break under the pressure. They didn't count on you thriving in it. Your move now, claim the download. Next time the shift hits, when the air hums and the blocks stack, say it fierce. I'm receiving this. I'm ready. Feel it ignite in your core. Then act. Shift your stance, change your next step, trust the signal. You're not waiting for permission or clarity. You're taking the reins. Studies show intention amplifies focus. Your brain snaps to attention. Spiritually, it's your soul stepping into command. The more you do this, the cleaner the signal gets. You're not just hearing it, you're mastering it. This isn't soft or safe, it's a fight. The unease, the blocks, the interruptions, they're the crucible. You're being shaped into something unstoppable, something they can't touch. You questioned the lies. You observed the cracks. And worst of all, for them, you understood the game. That's the high-dimensional edge. You're not just awake. You're aware. The shift's not here to scare you. It's here to sharpen you. Divine justice has your back. But you've got the blade. Wield it. You're standing at the edge of it now. The clash of forces you can't see but feel in every fiber of your being. Light and darkness aren't just metaphors. They're currents ripping through the air, colliding in ways that shake the ground beneath you. And you're not watching from the sidelines. You're the center of it, the pivot point where everything hinges. This isn't a quiet awakening anymore. It's a battlefield, and you're the target they didn't expect to fight back. Something's blocking your path. An invisible wall. A call that derails your plans. A delay that grinds your momentum to a halt. But here's the truth. Those obstacles aren't stopping you. They're shaping you into the force that creates the new era. Let's strip it down. You've got a mission burning in your chest. a fire that's been building since you first felt the tension in the air. You were ready to charge toward it, plans locked, steps mapped, when the wall hit. A phone rings with news you didn't want. A door slams shut on what you thought was the next move. Your instinct screams frustration, but your soul knows better. That block isn't random. It's divine justice flexing, redirecting you from a trap you didn't see. Science says your brain rewires under pressure, adapting to chaos. Spirituality says your higher self thrives in it, turning disruptions into detours toward power. Both are happening. Both are real. Here's where it gets sharp. The ones who fear you most aren't the loud enemies spitting venom in your face. They're the quiet ones. The ones who smiled at your victories, toasted your rise, then slipped away to whisper your name in shadowed rooms. You didn't see it at first, did you? Their masks were too good, their words too smooth. But now you're catching it. Connections where others see coincidences. Threads linking their fake grins to the delays piling up. They thought you'd stay naive, too trusting to spot the snare tightening. They were wrong. You're awake, and that terrifies them more than any weapon you could wield. So how do you turn this into action? How do you become the one they dread, the one who flips their game? Start by owning your sight. You're not guessing anymore, you're knowing. Next time that call comes, that delay strikes, don't curse it. Pause. Feel the shift. Ask, who benefits from this? Who's too calm while it happens? Then move, change your rhythm, dodge their script. If they expect you at noon, show up at dusk. If they think you'll break, double down. Your unpredictability is your strength. They mocked your power, dismissed it as fantasy. Now it's the trap snapping shut on them in the unseen. Balance isn't soft here. It's fierce. You're in the thick of it. Light clashing with dark. And your heart's pounding with every step. 1 minute you're fired up, ready to burn it all down. The next, you're staring at that invisible wall, wondering if you're enough. You are. Feel the storm in your chest? That's not chaos, it's fuel. To stay steady, anchor yourself daily. Stand still for 5 minutes, feet firm, breathing deep. Let the noise fade. Science proves this resets your nervous system, clearing static. Spiritually, it's your soul locking into the signal. You're not crumbling under this, you're rising through it. Let's talk practice, your personal path to mission mastery. First, map the blocks. Every time something stalls you, a call, a delay, a no, write it down. Date it. Note who's involved, what's at stake. Patterns will show up fast. Second, test the wall. Push against it. Make that call back, take a different route, force the next step. Sometimes it gives. Sometimes it holds. Either way, you learn its shape. Third, claim your role. Say it out loud, unflinching. I'm the center of this clash. I'm building the new era. Feel it sink in. Intention shifts energy, quantum studies hint at it, your spirit confirms it. This isn't waiting. This is forging. The emotional weight hits hard. You've never doubted like this before. Have you? Every other fight felt clear, enemies obvious, goals solid. Now it's murky, and the one hunting you hesitates too. He's tracked you, studied you, but this time he feels it. An unease he can't shake. Divine justice isn't just shielding you. It's rattling him. That delay that stopped you? Stopped him too. The wall isn't yours alone. It's a double-edged blade. He thought you were blind to the setup. Now he's second-guessing his own moves. You're not just surviving this, you're rewriting it. Here's your edge. You create the new era by being the new era. Every block you face, every trap you sidestep, you're laying bricks for something bigger. Don't wait for the clash to end. It won't. You build in it. Take that interrupted plan and pivot. Start the project anyway, speak the truth louder, move when they least expect it. The forces of light and dark aren't pausing for you. They're fueling you. Science says resilience grows in tension, your brain thrives on it. Spirituality says your soul was born for it. You're not here to escape the fight, you're here to define it. Your mission path is yours alone, but it's not vague. Step 1. Strip away their power. Stop feeding the smiles that don't reach their eyes. Cut the small talk. Guard your plans. Let them wonder. Step 2. Amplify your signal. Speak your truth daily. Write it, say it, live it. Your voice is the light breaking through. Step 3. Act through the blocks. A delay isn't a stop. It's a signal to shift. Find the crack, take the leap. This isn't theory, it's your blueprint. Test it tomorrow. Watch how fast the unseen bends to your will. You're the center of this unseen war, and it's not over. It's beginning. The wall, the call, the delay. They're not defeats. They're your forge. The ones who fear you most are trembling now. Not because you're loud, but because you're certain. They thought they'd erase you. Instead, you're etching your mark on the future. Light and darkness clash, and you don't just stand, you rise. This is your era. Claim it, build it, live it. And so you stand, not merely as a witness to the storm, but as its fulcrum. A chosen soul forged in the crucible of tension and trial, destined not to bend but to break through. The whispers of the divine force, the blocks that once loomed as barriers, the shadows that hunted you, they've all conspired to reveal your mission, to rise as the architect of a new dawn. Your identity isn't a question to be answered. It's a fire to be wielded, a truth that turns the tide of darkness back upon itself, illuminating a path only you can walk.